does our future world hold for us? What does this future world hold for me? And how am I shaping that future world by the actions that I take on a day-to-day basis, by the values that I hold and I express? What am I putting out in the world, but what am I also holding within, as though I'm afraid to express or to be the fullness of who I am in the midst of the environment that we're in, the social, economic, environmental, wellness environment that we're in. What am I holding back? Well, a friend of mine kind of popped my own bubble a couple of days ago by asking me the question that my interpretation is, why am I choosing to play small? With all the possibilities that are available to me, with all the various groups that I am connected to, either directly or indirectly in this country, the United States of America, but also around the world, why am I playing small? That rocked my world. I have to tell you, that rocked my world. I have not been able to get that out of my head. So as I digested that question, and of course she asked it a little bit differently, but that's how I interpreted. As I began to think about the question or think into the question, several things came to mind. One, we're in a time, according to the grandmothers of the Four Directions, my spiritual guides all my life. You can also find the reading for the year on YouTube. If you just put in Audri Scott Williams 2022, it'll come up. Anyway, we've been doing readings every year since about 1999, I think. And so I've been very close to the messages that are coming forward from these beautiful guides that I have, that I call them my angels. And one of the things they say about this time that we're in right now is there's this organizing of human groupings, so they call them crystal clusters, where many of us have been holding a vision, many of us have been having ideas and not always moving forward on those ideas, but holding them very much in a sacred way, that basic, deep question, inquiry of who am I? And now is the time, according to the grandmothers, that we are really waking up to our own potential. And as we wake up to our own potential, that the crystal clusters, as they call us, those beings who have been connected, maybe loosely, maybe some even unknown, but all of a sudden we're pulling together. We're starting to identify ourselves, and we're starting to realize that we have common goals, common values, common gifts. They may get expressed differently, and when we come together, we accelerate those gifts. We accelerate that basic core knowledge that we have, and we have an opportunity to help each other to then begin to express that in a way that singularly it would be very hard, but together as this crystal cluster, we are able to do that for one another and allow the space for what wants to come forward that we may not even be aware of. What wants to come forward in me? What wants to come forward in you? What wants to come forward in our beloved community that we call our crystal cluster? What is it? And not only do we have this opportunity right now, with everything around us showing up to be in support of us, we have almost, I would say, I feel an obligation. So as this question planted itself in this context for me, then I began to realize, Audrey, what are you afraid of in terms of stepping out and stepping into the power and potential that the divine has gifted you with, not a power over, but a magnetic power with the earth, with human beings, with all of life, and even in the here and now. And so I had to think about, what is it? And if you hear the jingles, it's a bracelet I wear. Every time I hear a jingle, I think it's an angel whispering to me. So pay attention. So I choose not to take that off. So you may hear a jingle every now and then, and maybe you can ask the same question of yourself. What is my angel trying to tell me right now? So this morning I woke up with a great revelation, and I want to share that with you, not because I'm sharing what my journey may be from here forward, but because I think this speaks to all of us in our potential, not only for ourselves to rise above it all, to rise in a way that we are showing our divine essence. We are living it and we are being it. And I don't know about you, but I know that I tend sometimes to hide in my own insecurities behind not wanting to be too much out front, not wanting to be have too much of the spotlight on me. Well, we got to get over this now, because we got a lot of work to do and we don't have a lot of time to do it. Okay. The earth is in trouble. We're in trouble, and we are the ones that can address the issues, that can change this in the time frame that we have available to us. I'm not talking doom and gloom. I'm just saying, look, the house is burning. Are we going to stand around and figure out which hose is really speaking to me? What water valve should I turn on? Should I let it trickle, or should I let it, just come out with force? We don't have time for that. When we come together as this beloved community or crystal cluster, then each of us has a part to play. And if we're not all playing it, we cannot realize the fulfillment of our potential. So this morning, I gave rise to the truth, the fact that I am. And that my God self is tired of hiding its full expression. And in the midst of that awareness, I also received release, doubt, fear about what if, about what will people think, about revealing my own insecurities in the places where I have fear. That it was time to step outside of all of that and express the fact, not the illusion, not the dreams, express the fact that I am now embracing the fullness of who I am. The fullness of the beauty, of the grace, of the times I get it right, the times I may not. I am determined to follow the path that I was brought here to be in the world. I will claim it. I will express it in my words and my actions and my creativity, in my love. And even in those moments where I may experience fear, I will know and remember that love conquers fear. I know for myself, just as I know for you, that we are all here for a reason. We are all here for a reason. So I am claiming that I am aware of that. I am claiming that I know that I'm here for a reason, that I wasn't just put here on this planet to check out the scenery. I am here for a reason. I came here to make everything brighter. How? By being the best me that I can be. Have you ever been in a room and somebody walks in and they have such a presence and such an energy, and they may not even say a word, but the whole room lights up? Well, I'm claiming to be able to be that in every expression of my being. I am claiming that that brightness is not connected to my ego. That brightness is connected to the love that I hold in my heart. And it's just not a love of myself, but it is a love of myself. It is a love of everything around me, a love that is so strong that I know this human family is capable of creating a world that works for everyone, for Mother Earth, for the galaxy, for the universe. I know that we are capable of being the divine ones on earth, the I am ones, expressing that knowing with confidence, assurity, not even having to think about it, just walking into a room and lighting up that room with love, with fearless embodiment of the I am. And as that light comes, you know what I find? I have a friend of mine that does that. And she walks in a room, everybody turns around. She hasn't said a word. She hasn't done anything. She just walks into the room and the whole room gets quiet. And the one thing I know about her, and I haven't seen her in years, but the one thing I know about her is that she is the most loving and compassionate and consistent person who shows up as her, who shows up as her I amness. And that has been a lesson for me, but somehow I fell asleep and I forgot. It's not about the fact that people turn, that people get quiet, that people want to know who is that. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that we each hold a light that is so magnificent that it can do the same thing. It can transform hate into love. It can transform fear into confidence. It can transform sickness into healing. It can transform what's not working into a well-oiled machine, a machine of consciousness. As we tap into that state of being, the answers come. The answers come in our heart, in our imagination, that is always seeking a different expression, a greater understanding, a greater impact when embodied. The world needs that right now. The world needs that right now. The old paradigms of patriarchy, of hate, of racism, of homophobia, of child molestation, of extortion, of greed. Come on, everybody. It's not working. We have to make really good choices. An adrenaline rush is temporary. going deep into your own essence, into the I am space within, takes you to pure ecstasy. Why? Because in that space, when you embody it fully and walk it and talk it and be it, all the chatter stuff that really is meaningless, all the efforts of great marketing and advertising used to control our minds and our choices, it doesn't work, folks. When you're in that space, it's not enough to win a dumb argument, because you know deep down that this is just useless chatter. But oh my goodness, the thrill and the ecstasy of tapping into divine source within and meeting someone who is there with you, and you begin to express and to imagine, and before you know it, you're creating something that has value and meaning that is going to last long after our physical being is gone. I'm challenging you to join me on this journey, to join me on this path, to get on this love train, if you will. This knowing and being who you are. Fully open and fully ready to embrace. So I came to the conclusion that I am ready to walk this world being love, bringing love, expressing love, just in the presence of who I am. I want to walk in a room, even if it's just my bedroom, and feel the love radiating, the compassion radiating, the infinite possibilities of who I am radiating so strong that the room lights up. Affirming who I am. Infinite opportunity for inspiration to pour out into the world, to heal Mother Earth, to heal humanity, to move us from the game of life to living the truth of who we are. I am and I matter. You are and you matter. And so does everyone and everything around us. The only way we make a real difference is to step out in this awareness. To find joy in being, to find truth in the ecstatic energy around you when you're vibrating at your highest, to realize that that energy can be translated into the answers, the opportunities, the inventions, the everything we need to be whole and complete in this life. Wow. That energy, that state of being removes all limiting thoughts. It frees the God in us, the Spirit in us, the great I am in us to be all we could possibly be. To be what the world needs right now. As I said before, it reminds us that we just didn't get here and come here to check out the scenery. We came here to live. We came here with an opportunity to be the reflection of the divine in this dimension. That's powerful. That's powerful. We have to know, I have to know that everything I need is present in the moment of my need. I trust me. And I invite you to trust yourself. I trust God and I trust love. I trust the divine one in everything, everyone, every expression. And I align with that divine expression. And that means this, that even in the midst of the conversations that may be judged as meaningless, that may be judged as hate, that there is a reason. So that as I look into and listen into that only for a moment, I notice the dim light there. I notice the fear that is really being expressed. I notice a need for me to feel better being expressed about who I am. But most of all, I feel the fear. I feel the fear that somebody's going to take something from me that is representative of who I am. Take away my power. Take away my money. Take away my privilege. And so, as I see that now, I see then the healing that needs to take place. And I recognize that healing is happening on every level. And if I am going to be a positive influence in this world, that I have to see the pain. And I have to shine my light into that, as well as shining my light into the good. Because in God, I don't believe there's any separation between the two. We're just all here trying to figure out how to ride our little bicycles, you know? And when somebody gets too close and takes a wheel off, or somebody else gets too close and grabs the horn on my bike, and somebody else pulls my chain, they're threatening what I'm here to do and to be, because I can only see that bike. But when I'm in the right place at the right time, my bike becomes a spaceship. My bike becomes angel wings. My bike becomes invincible. But what do I choose to be and to do in those moments where my greatest good is in the midst of what might appear to be the greatest hate? I commit myself to shining my light brighter. Because once we touch the heart, our heart, the hearts around us, once that happens, even if it's just a little pinch, the fear begins to subside. We all find a place for ourselves, a place in here. We begin to recognize, we open ourselves for greater healing. And when you have the crystal clusters around you, there is always someone or someones that are there and ready to receive you, to assist you, just to be there for you as you go through your own healing. So I'm not trying to condemn anything, because when you're in the light, and this morning the light was so strong, I couldn't see hate. I'm going on longer than I planned, but just bear with me just a couple of more minutes, because I want us to really walk away from this together. Those who are ready, I'm not pushing anything on anyone. I'm not giving you a link to buy the Kool-Aid or take the red or green or blue pill. I'm not trying to do any of that, join anything. I'm just simply wanting us to get that we can trust. We can trust what I call the divine essence, that which is in us, that has been with us since the first things we recognize coming here. We can open ourselves, open our hearts, open our minds to all that is seeking expression. We can boost ourselves, so to speak, into a perfect orbit right here on earth, shining our light into every situation that needs us, not hiding our light, but embracing it. You are so perfect. I am so perfect. When I said that, I thought about the saying, God don't make no junk. He certainly didn't make that with us. We have an opportunity now to embrace who we are and to know that that will prevail. In that space, we choose to be alive, to heal, to love, to express, because that's what the world needs right now. We don't need this repetitive recycling of issues affecting humanity or affecting the earth. We don't need that just round and round and round experience. We need to right angle off the loop and create something new, create a world that works for all, absolutely no exceptions. So I am building this world. I committed myself this morning to be present to the I am that I am. And I know that whatever is needed will come forward, will reveal itself. And those that are seeking an opportunity to shine their light will be so grateful to see that someone else is not only seeking but has embraced it as well, that together we can make the world sing. Together we can heal the wounded. Together we can make choices, create possibilities where we can see life permeating everything. Not death industries, but life-giving industries, life-giving opportunities. We haven't even begun to explore the fullness of that in this iteration of history. On small scales, but not on the big scale that we're capable of. We are the holy temple. And all that God is in us. And it doesn't have, you don't have to use the name God. Use whatever name works for you. Spirit, form, whatever it is. The great mystery. Open. I open myself to the journey that is in the here and now, and the journey that will take me forward for the rest of my life. And I invite you to do the same. We are here, it is now, and we are ready. So I am starting right now to walk this path. I will no longer limit any aspect of who I am. And I invite you, if you ever see me doing that, to call me on it. Because together we grow. We are the divine reflection of one another. And I respect that. With all the clarity of who I am, I now open myself to know that everything that is needed to sustain this path, to sustain me in the work that I am now being called to, will come forward. I am so grateful that you've waited for me to know who I am. Join me. We are the light of the world. Let's shine it bright. Let's look forward to a world that works for all. Let's begin to imagine what that might look like, and let's begin to create it. Sometimes one step at a time, sometimes in leaps and bounds. With love, in the presence of the divine I am. Thank you.